Show of hands, how many of you know someone who is affected with memory loss? Hi, we are Buddy System. My name's Sophia.
I'm Jessica. And I'm Elise.
This is my aunt. She is suffering with MS and of course multiple. She's suffering of MS and with Alzheimer's and dementia. She unfortunately forgets where she's going, loses her time of day, and has night wandering. And it doesn't just affect her, it affects my uncle, my mom, myself.
There are 6 million other people in America living with dementia who are isolated and lonely and confused and afraid. And there are 11 million unpaid caretakers at home who are also afraid and stressed and depressed. So, what can we do about it? We need a buddy. We need someone to help us. So that's why we've developed the Buddy System. The Buddy System is a very innovative device that can offer companionship. It detects falls. It's got haptic feedback. So when you're petting it, it'll respond, wiggle its tail, wiggle its ears. It'll purr, it'll heat up. It's very realistic. You can also personalize it further to match an old pet that you've had or some breed of dog or cat that you really love, someone you really connect with. It can give you medical reminders. And for an extra subscription price, you can get the wandering alerts with a GPS location for the patient. You can get a music player so it can play music. It's got a bunch of added features that are really customizable.
The community feature is also extremely important, not only for the caregiver, but for the community of caregivers around the world so they can feel not isolated as a caregiver. They can talk and communicate and share resources with one another. There is an intuitive app design that would allow them to use this app, connect with others, communicate with the user of the Buddy System, and also be able to then add other features in the future.
So there are current products on the market that are realistic pets, but unlike theirs, ours has vital sign monitoring and biomechanical features and biometric feedback. So we have also customizable features, which isn't currently really found on the market. It's hard to do. You can connect to your caretaker and your health provider at the same time. And there's community outreach and programming, so you can connect with other patients and share resources.
So of course, as we all learned, we validated our idea. We did qualitative feedback and quantitative feedback. We heard from caregivers, because obviously we can't talk to dementia patients. And we found out when we did our quantitative survey that 75% of people who have loved ones with dementia would consider buying this product. So we took a very conservative approach to what our addressable market is. The memory care market is $321 billion in the US. The whole market is 80% of that cost. And what we did is we focused on 4 states in the United States where dementia is most prevalent. That's New York, Florida, Texas, and California for our launch. We have a 2-tiered pricing model. You can either buy the base product for $4.99 or you can rent it for less of a monthly output at $60 a month. And then for the add-on features, we're selling them as a bundle for $14.99 subscription fee, which is cheaper than any existing fall detection and other elements that are on the market today. So when we did a pro forma, we did a very, very conservative pro forma, assuming a 0.01% market penetration in year 1. What we're noticing is that we'll have a unit margin price of 62%. We will have a blended margin that's in the negative number, but by year 3, we will break even, and by year 5, we will be profitable.
We see immense growth for the Buddy System going forward, and we know that it can affect both autism, PTSD, and other forms of therapeutic uses. This is our team. We worked extremely hard on this. We want to thank all that have helped us with the mentors, other teammates, all the customer development. We really appreciate all the feedback. Thank you guys so much.
And that's the way it's done. Okay, judges, questions. Do you want the mic?
I have a question. two questions in one. Kind of. I know you stated that obviously you can't test it with dementia patients, but you actually can to see how they would react to those stuffed animals. And whether certain levels of dementia would feel infantilized by having a stuffed animal. So I think it's really important to really test that out with people. So I guess it's not really a question; it's more of a comment. So.
Yeah. So we totally agree that we need to test, and we did put in a lot of R&D costs. There are products like this on the market, as Jess had shared. So we also know that there's a baby that some dementia patients have. And it's why we would allow the customizable feature so that people can make their pet look like theirs. But we agree with you, it needs to be tested. And we also agree that it has to have an easy interface for dementia people.
We also thought of a future use of a plant for those who are not animal lovers.
What have you looked into at all? Were you able to look into some cost structures for the $4.99? Does that cover with a bunch of margin, or is that pretty tight?
Okay, so so we took a conservative estimate, and this is my friend who does the bio robotics. But we have a $265 cost of goods for our products. We feel that will go down over time. The cost of doing the stuffed animal around it is minimal. We put in for $5 for that, assuming that it could also be changed. We've got, and we forgot to mention this, a recyclable program where people can return the pet because there's a limited amount of time that a user is going to have this pet. We're estimating 4 years. So you can return it and it can be recycled and the surrounding fluff and donated to an underserved community. So that's part of our process.